What's up everyone, Nicholas Veinoglou here. Today I'm hanging out with my friends at Guitar Center and we're gonna check out the Fender Switchboard. So a couple features before we dive in. We have 5 relay true bypass effects loops here, which you can actually reorder in any order you want. You have up to 500 user presets. It also controls your amp's foot switch, as well as send MIDI instructions to any MIDI-compatible device. Before we get playing, I'm using a Paul Reed Smith DGT here, going right into the Fender Deluxe Reverb. Now, in pedal land, we're running into the Electro Harmonics Pitchfork. We also have the Electro Harmonics Synth 9, a really fun pedal, the Strymon Deco, Line 6 HX Stomp, as well as the Strymon Big Sky. And again, they're all going directly into the Fender Switchboard. Now, the great thing is it doesn't matter what order they are on my board, because since they're all going into the switchboard, I can again change any layout that I would like within there. So what you see here on the board doesn't necessarily reflect any specific signal chain that you might assume. I also have my Roland EV5 on the floor, which I can use as a volume pedal or double it as an expression pedal for any of these pedals here that would take an expression. Now, if I was running a stereo pedal out of loop 5 on the Fender Switchboard, that would give me the liberty to actually use 2 different amps to get true stereo. Now, you might notice that I don't have a tuner on my pedal board, and that's because the Fender Switchboard actually has a built-in onboard tuner. So now let's check out how this Fender Switchboard sounds. We're gonna start in bank mode, which again gives me up to 500 user presets. So it's perfect for if I'm going on tour and I have a whole set list of music, I can save every single individual song or section right into my switchboard. So I'm gonna go into my presets here and pull up a clean sound. Now, this sound is using the HX Stomp with a little bit of chorus effect on it. We're using the Big Sky reverb, as well as a little sweet kiss from the Strymon Deco. Let's hear how it sounds. So that tone was following a more traditional signal path, right? I was from the Deco into the HX Stomp into the Big Sky reverb. Now, all I have running on the HX Stomp is a kind of warbly chorus effect. So I want to see what happens if I actually move the HX Stomp to the very front of the signal chain. Let's see how that sounds. So you can immediately notice that chorus effect is way more prevalent since we moved it to the very front of the chain, and that signal is then hitting the Deco and then hitting the Big Sky. So even just a simple change of one pedal makes all the tonal difference. And this is one of my favorite features of the Fender Switchboard. Being able to rearrange any of your pedals in the signal chain is amazing, because normally if I wanted to do that, I would have had to go back and rewire my entire board, right? So here I can audition these funky sounds literally with a twist of one knob. And I actually really like the way this sounds here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and save this as a new preset. So while we're still in bank mode, let's check out one other preset I have here. And a couple exciting things are gonna happen when I switch here. One, we're gonna test out the Momentary switch function, which I'm gonna have linked to my Electro Harmonics Pitchfork. So I can actually use it as a temporary octave jump, is that's what I have that pedal set to. You'll also notice MIDI being sent to the HX Stomp, so you'll see the entire preset change when I click on the switchboard. Let's check it out. Another really cool thing in bank mode is, let's say I have my bank mode set up so that I have an intro, verse, pre-chorus, and chorus tone, right? And let's say I have to do a quick guitar fill on the pre-chorus or something. I can actually momentarily switch between entire patches by doing the same thing, simply pressing and holding on a different patch, releasing it, it goes right back to the original patch. So now let's head over to loop mode, which is going to basically make our Fender Switchboard here work like a traditional pedal board, in the sense that I can simply turn on and off any of the pedals. This is really great for getting creative and making new sounds. And I want to make something really crazy. I want to feature that Synth 9 pedal and make something very outlandish sounding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on the Synth 9 pedal. We'll warm it up a little bit with the Deco, throw the HX Stomp on and the Strymon reverb, because why not? And if I feel inspired, maybe I hit that Momentary switch to get that octave in there, but I think the Synth 9 is going to be pretty overpowering. The volume pedal I have right at the very front. Let's see how that sounds. So now let's see what happens if I actually take that volume pedal and move it to the very end of the chain. That's gonna cut all the signal out. So there'll be no reverb tail, and it'll be really true to like that synthy sound. So let's go ahead and move that volume to the very end and see how that sounds. So it's rare that I find a piece of gear that I say, this will genuinely work in the studio, this will work on tour, this will work in my everyday application, just playing around in my bedroom even, right? This has something to offer for everyone. If I'm going on tour, I'm gonna use this to save all of my presets in there, so every night I don't have to worry about tap dancing all over my pedal board, accidentally hitting a knob. It's always gonna be consistent. For the studio, being able to rearrange my pedals and come up with really interesting sounds, like that last synth sound where I kicked on the tremolo on the amp here. I'd never done that before, I'd never heard that before, and it was a genuine like, wow, this is an awesome sound. So many different ways to use this. They really did an outstanding job with making it user-friendly. I by no means consider myself tech savvy, especially when it comes to more confusing sounding stuff like adding MIDI signals. I'd never done that before until this morning, and I plugged it in and literally was able to do it. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. This thing is freaking awesome. To learn more about the Fender Switchboard, head online to guitarcenter.com, give a call to one of their expert gear advisors, or just pop into your local GC, give it a try for yourself.